Hello, hello. Let's go thing. Show me. I hate that it takes so long. You hit go live and it takes forever for it to pop up here, yet you're watching me. So it's like I look like an even bigger idiot if I don't start talking to you, but I'm waiting for it to come up so I know if anybody's trying to talk to me or say anything. All right, so Jax West from Stephen Avery Project, MAM Gossip, and Justice with Jax. I'm popping on for just a short live today. We're not going to be on very long, but I figured I would pop on and talk about yesterday's road trip to Manitowoc. That I've done that. I mean, I've done it at least once a year since 2016. Um, so there's videos on the Justice with Jax YouTube channel and in MAM Gossip. I I've gone live in the different spots. So so you'll have to look around all the various pages if you wanted to go and look at the older videos I've done when we've gone there. Um, from the videos that I did yesterday, we have had people who are critiquing me or outright trying to attack me. Um, the thing I will remind everybody is this is my page, my rules. So while you're free to have your opinion of me and my videos, um, I'm not going to just leave nasty comments up. So they have been deleted. They will continue to be deleted. And people who just really want to troll will be banned. So just putting that out there from the get go. Which one person who commented on one of them yesterday was hilarious because this is a guy who physically threatened me a few years ago where the police had to be called and he had to be contacted and told to stop. And so he's apparently still watching me. Hi, Brett. And thinking he's going to be able to post nasty things about me, and it's just not going to happen. So, all right, yesterday we drove up there. It was my husband and Bryce, a long time supporter and now a friend of mine. Bryce went with me last year too. I think it was last year when we did it. And so I always start when I go at the salvage yard because the Avery family does not like me. And one of the times when I had done live videos, I walked to the Redont deer camp because I was walking down that road from the Cuss dead end. And at that time when I did that walk, there were no trespassing signs. But that didn't matter. And the whole point, first I was walking down that road because I wanted to give people a look of the woods there because it is said that Teresa Hallbach was left there for a period of time. So I was showing people the woods. And then the other thing that I really just wanted to show you is how close Avery Salvage and the pit is to the Redont quarry. I can never remember which one's the quarry and which one's the gravel pit. So I wanted to show at that time that you can drive right through the back of the pit, and B, I wanted to show you how quick it would be if you were doing something on Cuss Road and you had to walk back to Avery Salvage. of that it's really not that far to walk that way. And even the drive from Avery Salvage over is not that long, but it's so much quicker if you can just go as the crow flies through, not on the roads. So when I had gone to the Redont deer camp, Carla, hi Carla, because she always watches me. Hi Carla. Carla Chase, Steven's niece, Chuck Avery's daughter, she always watches me. And so then she called her daddy, and Chuck called Josh Redont to tell him I was there. I was live. And, but he didn't even do it the day I was there. Josh Redont filed a trespassing thing against me. And I believe that video I was doing in our closed group, MAM Gossip. And they were watching the live video, and my husband was driving the car following me as I was walking. And at some point I had turned my phone, I was filming one way, and you got my reflection in my car. So that's what was in the ticket that was sent to me. I got it. It was like a month or more later that I got the trespassing ticket. I still have it here somewhere. And then I had to go to court for it up in Manitowoc. So, pretty hilarious. And then when Earl Avery, because Earl Avery occasionally likes to text me and make threats and call me names. And so he had texted me that day and said, I better not be on their property. And he had said that they will get me for trespassing. That's how he typed it. And so it was spelled TRUSTPASSING. That's how he spelled it. Trespassing. Not the brightest bulb, Earl Avery. So in all my trips since then, I do not give anybody a heads up when I'm going. And I go to Avery's salvage yard first, because if anybody's going to try and do anything to me, that's the place they're going to try. So I'm in and out. But we did have this time. Now, the negative comments that I've gotten are people think it's wrong of me to go to these places. And I find it really interesting, the ones that want to defend the killer, Bobby Dassey. And, somebody did the innocent until proven guilty. And I was thinking about that term today, innocent until proven guilty. And what is on here? Oh, sorry. Okay. I was like, it was saying comments protected. And I'm like, what does that even mean? And it's like, oh, commenters must have followed me for at least 15 minutes before they can comment. So I guess to block any trolls. Go back. Sorry. It just brought up a whole nother page. What are you doing, stupid Facebook? Okay. So I was thinking about that today, the innocent until proven guilty. That's not how it should ever be worded, in my opinion. Stephen and Brendan were found guilty. They weren't proven guilty. They were found guilty. And I always hate when people bring up a jury, too. When it's like, oh, a jury, And we know that a jury is not given all the evidence. So like in Stephen's case, they weren't allowed to talk about other suspects. So when a jury finds somebody guilty, they don't have more information on the case than anybody else. They actually have less, because there's all those sidebars and throwing things out and all that then the jury doesn't get. So some people will say I'm just playing semantics, but I don't agree with innocent until proven guilty, or even guilty unless proven guilty. Because we know in wrongful conviction world, you haven't proven squat. You just got a guilty verdict. So people telling me I should leave Bobby alone. No. His address is public. I Googled him. I did not list his address. You know, all the addresses that I went to yesterday, I Googled it. So anybody could get those addresses of any place that I went to. So, not sorry. People were upset that I went to the Hallbach house. All I did was drive there, turned on my camera on my phone, and filmed it as we drove past it. I didn't give you their address, but once again, all I did was Google it to get it. I didn't disturb them. I didn't say anything to them. I didn't say anything about them. I just wanted to show people how close Teresa lived to her parents' house. And then also, it's the whole time it took to drive from Avery to Teresa's place. That's all. Stopped at the cemetery. Again, public. So, people can slam me all they want. Barb got that computer back, Joe. Even though it's the Bobby Dassey computer, but Barb is the one that got it, because it was Barb's computer that was in Bobby's bedroom. So, and now remember, I can't remember what year it was, just a couple years ago, that they took it in for testing again, and Barb still had it. I couldn't believe she still has it. Especially since she obviously knows stuff is on there. Why she would keep that. So, but speaking of Bobby, yes, so we went to his house. This was only the second time I've gone to the killer's house. Bryce and I went last year too. It's got really bad service there. So I was doing the live video because Bobby lives like 7 minutes from his mom's house. And his mom's house is literally right around the corner from the turnaround where the RAV4 was spotted by witnesses. So I was on one video doing all of those, but then I lost internet at Bobby's. So then I was just going to take a video with my camera and then upload it. And then that's when Bryce said he saw somebody. And then when I looked, it's like, ooh, somebody's walking towards the car. And it's a really long driveway. And he was walking pretty fast. So I took 2 quick pictures, and I had a dilemma in my head, because I'm like, do I let the killer come all the way to the car and see what he says to me? Or do I just leave, knowing the family always tries to get me on something, and also knowing this is a killer who's gone free. So just in the spur of the moment thing, I'm like, I took the 2 pictures and I said, just go. And so we drove away. I don't know now in a couple months if I'll get another like trespassing ticket, but I was on the public road. I wasn't on his property. So, and it, didn't give address, didn't do any of that. I didn't show his children. I showed him. So, people have a problem with that. I don't really care. And if Bobby Dassey ever happens to watch this, if you'd like to talk with me, we could do that. Your mom has my cell phone number, so get my number from Barb. Give me a call or a text, and we can discuss if you would like, if you wanted to have a conversation. So, we started at Avery Salvage. Then we went to where Scott Toddock's trailer had been at the time of the case, which was just 5 minutes down the highway, the same road that Avery's Auto Salvage is on. It was just 5 minutes, 7 minutes, and it doesn't exist anymore. So it just tells you that where his trailer had been, it's on this side of the road in between 2 driveways by south of this street or whatever. So it wasn't that long after this case was going on that Scott Toddock's trailer burned down. And so I just also wanted to show you, the trees and such that were behind where Scott Toddock's trailer had been. And also on that 147 is where Bobby and Scott did the crisscross. Oh, we just happened to see each other. Bobby's coming to hunt at Scott's. Well, Scott's was going the direction towards Salvage Yard to go hunt somewhere else, not in his own backyard. This was also, since it was November 5th, it is the anniversary of when the RAV4 was found. So I just also wanted to show, I realize our weather is different and everything, but how light it was at the time we were there, what the trees looked like, what the leaf status was, all of that. So we did Avery Salvage, then we went to Scott's, then we drove back by Avery Salvage so I could hit record and then I kept it on as we drove from Avery to Cuss Road so you could see how long that would take. And then after Cuss Road, we did the turnaround, which I'm told by people who live in the area I was on the wrong side of the street there. And I think I always do that. I go on the wrong side, where the RAV4 was found, it's even closer to where Barb and Scott live now. Just makes me wonder, is there a reason? Because you could literally see Barb and Scott's house, from where the RAV4 was parked. So it just makes me wonder if something happened out in those woods. And that's why they bought that house there. I don't know. So we did a drive past Barb's house and then to the killer's house. Then we went to the Cenex station because just wanted to show you. And all these places are like 5-7 minutes apart. And so the Cenex station is where one of the witnesses had seen the missing poster or paper on the door and saw Colborne and told him he saw the RAV4 at that turnaround. And then we went to the Hallbach house and the cemetery. So that was our trip yesterday. I do not know when I will go next. I never know when I'm going to go. And I also won't tell you when I'm going to go in advance because not going to have anybody ready and waiting for me. We don't know anything on Stephen's case. We know now we're going to get a new judge. But we don't know how long that process is going to take before we'll know anything there. So, and I believe I have one more episode of Convicting a Murderer for me to rebut. I know I've done them out of order. So hopefully I will get that done this week and get that posted for you guys. And then I will be done with that horrible show. Horrible. So that is it for me tonight. I do not know when I will be live next. Whenever something happens in Stephen's case, I try to go live as soon as I can. I work on the Marnie Yang case, and she was supposed to be going to court. It's been pushed back and pushed back. And so it was supposed to be Wednesday this week. And now it's going to be on Monday. So, excuse me. I'll probably go live on Justice with Jax at some point on Monday to talk to everybody about what happened in court with Marnie Yang. Yes, I know. Those of you who are here for Stephen Avery, you always get mad when I talk about other cases. But Marnie Yang is being transported to the court for that day. Which, it's over 3 hours where her prison is from that courthouse. So it's a pretty big deal that that the judge has ordered Marnie to come to court. And we're still in her case trying to get an evidentiary hearing. That's, so I think it's weird that Marnie's coming to court for that because it's not like it's a trial or that we're presenting evidence. It's just trying to get an evidentiary hearing. So, but I won't go live here on that. I'll do that on Justice with Jax. Have you ever spoke to the Netflix video makers? Only one time, Joe. And it's when I attended Brendan's hearing at the 7th Circuit in Chicago, and the documentarians were there. And so I talked to him a little bit, but they didn't want to talk too much because they did the whole thing of we try to stay completely off the story. That they just want to film what's happening. They don't want to be a part of what's happening. So that's the only time I've talked to them is on the street in front of the courthouse. And do they have any footage they didn't use on the series? Oh, I'm sure they do, Joe. They've got to have a ton of stuff. And they have stuff I'm sure that they have filmed since then. I can't remember Making a Murderer 2 came out after the 7th Circuit, right? Because that stuff was included in there. But yeah, they absolutely have to have more footage. But before anybody goes Candace Owens on me, you can't include everything. And, there's so much to the case. So Making a Murderer didn't include everything, and Convicting a Murderer didn't include everything. So that's up to y'all. Go out there and do your own investigations too. What was that? The X-Files? Was it the X-Files? The truth is out there. Go do a deep dive and see what you find. I know I have, and all the evidence that I have found that wasn't included in Making a Murderer just pushes to innocence. Everything says innocent. I've never seen anything to make me think they're guilty. And if there was any credible evidence to that, I would admit it. I would say it. But there's not. Everything shows that Brendan and Stephen are innocent. So, all right, I'm going to go and have my dinner. Hello, Teresa, and goodbye, Teresa, as I'm about to leave now. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Oh, I guess I should do one shameless plug for my book, Wrongfully Abused, Making an Advocate for Stephen Avery, which is available on Amazon. This is my experience being an advocate for their innocence. So you can get that. All right. Yeah, and I didn't give anybody the heads up today, Teresa. I came home from work, let my dogs out, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to pop on and go live real quick just to talk about it. So, so nobody knew ahead of time, so nobody was ready for this. Oh, well, thank you for getting the book, Kathy. So, all right, I'm going, and I always have to say, if you've got any information on this case, please reach out to Kathleen. You go to her website, KathleenTZellner.com. All right. As always, investigation continues.